Hey everyone, this is Mr. Molo with a quick video to kind of get your robot set up for coding, because there are some steps that we need to do before we can actually code the robot. So we're going to go to the coding website here. And one big difference you'll notice is there's no drivetrain here. So there's nothing that I can do to drive the robot yet. There's a couple of reasons for that. So first thing we have to do, and this part kind of stinks because we have to do it every time, and I'll kind of show you what I mean in a second. So we have a USB-C cord and a USB. So the USB goes into your computer and the USB-C goes into the side of the robot. So we have to tell the computer that the robot is connected. So we're going to go up here to brain. It'll say no brain detected. So the robot brain is not detected, so we need to hit connect. And we're going to connect it to the communications port. And then you'll see the brain light will turn green like that, showing that the brain is connected. So now the computer knows and the robot knows that they're connected to each other. So if I disconnect it, like that, you can't see me disconnecting it obviously, but it goes back to not being green. And then if I plug it back in, I have to go and connect it again. So every time you download a program to the robot, you'll have to reconnect the robot, which kind of stinks. All right, so now let's actually get to programming. So again, like I mentioned earlier, there's no drivetrain here. But we need to tell the computer what kind of robot we have. So we need to go here and tell it what is on the robot. So we're going to add a device. And for this maze program, all we need to do is tell it that we have two motors that help the robot drive. So we're going to go here, and then we need to look at our robot and see where those two motors are connected. They should be on ports 6 and 10. But you might want to double check that just in case. Otherwise, you can tell it to go, and then it's not going to go because the wrong motors are turning. So if you say it's on 7 and 10, well, then there is no motor on 7. So it's making motor 7 turn, but motor 7 doesn't exist. So you need to make sure that it's doing the right one. So I would say motor 6 and 10 are connected. And now it looks pretty much like it did last time, where you have the drive forward and you have the turn right, all the things that we're looking for. So then that would show up there. So now you can navigate your robot through the maze. You can hit drive forward, drag it down here. Okay. I would also, so once you put things on your program list, okay, you would press this download button. It would say start the downloading process. So now your robot, if you unplugged it and press play, it would drive forward for 200 millimeters. Okay. When we're doing this, I would change it to inches. Just because we're more familiar with inches, and I'll give you all rulers, so it'll be a lot easier then once we have inches. But you'll have that downloaded then onto the robot. So now if you press 200 inches is a lot, let's not do that. Let's just do like 20 inches. So now if I downloaded that, so now if I press play on my robot, it would go forward for 20 inches. Okay, same thing if I turned right for 90 degrees, then it would turn right 90 degrees. So you would have that there based on the two drive. But one other thing we're going to have to consider, so we don't need it for the maze project, but then once we get to the basketball project or the other projects that we do, we have that claw in front, and that is just called a motor. So then we would need to add a motor. So if I look, my claws should be plugged in to motor 3 and motor 4. So motor, let me look. Motor 3 lifts the arm up and down on the robot that I'm looking at right now. And then motor 4 makes the claw open and close. So now you'll see there's even some more programs added where it says spin motor 3 and spin motor 4. So that means it's going to spin the motor and either lift the arm up, or spin the motor and lift the arm down, or spin the motor 4 and close the claw, or spin motor 4 and open the claw, depending if it's forward or reverse. We'll determine that. So you're just going to have to try those and see, okay, I want to go up. That's usually forward. I want it to close. That's usually forward. And then putting it down is usually reverse, and opening the claw is usually reverse. But it might change depending on how your robot was built and how your motors are turned or are plugged in. So once it gets downloaded to there, and then I will make another video on how to actually play it from the robot. But you're going to go into the robot and press play on the robot, and then everything that appears there. So every little change that you make, so if you decide that 20 inches is not enough, you have to plug the robot back in, go 22 inches, and then download it again, and then try 22 inches. So it kind of stinks then to go back and forth so much. So really important that we're accurate the first time when we're measuring things. Otherwise, these projects might take a while.